Starting this off by saying this is a spoiler-heavy review. It's really just my thoughts and theories thrown together in a ramble, but please enjoy. Welcome back to Resident Evil. Requiem is finally here. The way I thought I was ready for this game, and it still blew my mind. I really wanted to record and post a playthrough with my genuine first reaction to it all, but I'm having some trouble figuring out this new recording software, and I was afraid my laptop might overheat if I tried that. To be on the safe side for now, I decided to play and gather my thoughts. I already know I will go back and play again someday. My official review is, I love it. It's my new favorite installment in the franchise. Leon looks great. I am a fan of Grace Ashcroft. The better not have been my boy Hunk. Not sure why I'm a fan of him, but I am. And I am ready for the return of Chris Redfield. There is a lot to unpack about my experience with this game, but I will simply focus on a few things, and they may be random. I love the sound design in this game. The way the menu theme seems doubtful and eerie when you first start, but will change to hopeful when the story is completed. The soundtrack, especially when it breaks into those chords of nostalgia, hits me right in the feels, making me relive both fond and terrifying memories. And the sounds of the city crumbling away. Perhaps it was just my mind playing tricks on me, but it made me think of the sound of something moving or growing. All that evil in one place just festering until it could be taken care of. I love the exploration of the mental weight of their past traumas. Grace and Leon get to confront the horrors that brought them to points in life they are at now. I teared up at Kendo's gun shop, bringing me back to the first time I experienced the Resident Evil story. Some cold fall afternoon sitting in my room, my heart racing a mile a minute, straight up heart attack mode of Mr. X's footsteps echoed in the RPD. And the moment Leon gets to escape it all, he chooses to go further, encountering Kendo, the type of person he swore to protect. I still remember the haunting sound of that gunshot in the alley. There was nothing to do but move on. We see that moments like that still haunt him. Every time he fails to save someone, he holds it to himself, riddled with regret, and it's why he never stops, if only to save just one life. Grace, a nervous wreck from the start, gets to face the past of her mother's murder, her own inability to save her, and her chance at retribution. Once again, if only to save one life. Perfectly shown in the time where she loses Emily, the girl she saves in the beginning at the care center. She has spent so much time trying to prevent losing someone else. Being the one that Emily can rely on, Victor and Zeno obviously played on her guilt, likely explaining that she could save lives in other ways or on a greater scale. She was searching for meaning and ended up following them for answers, I guess. It isn't revealed exactly what Victor said to her that made her trust him to any extent, but we do know that she was in a fragile state of mind. Her actions bring us back to that scary first RE experience, where we know nothing and can do little to stop it from progressing. Her character is bringing those fresh new steps that I was expecting upon hearing all those rumors and theories months and months ago, that the OG4 may be prepping to hand down the mantle for a new generation of heroes. I like how her character was brought in, her story was executed, and her development throughout it all. I love the way Grace seems to always be struggling to look up away from the ground, her anxiety often getting the better of her. A fantastic detail of the weight of all this BS can do to a normal and experienced person. A little bit of what we got to see first with Ethan Winters, I guess. Not letting us forget that we don't just play through these stories to be a badass with a gun, pardon my French, but to save the world at large from experiencing the same things. I really like her character. That being said, I am still hopeful for Agent Ashley Graham. Let's dive in a little bit to the game. The Umbrella Corporation isn't finished, seemingly being kept afloat by ties to the Connections, Victor Gideon has been chasing the work of Oswell E. Spencer, I hope I said that right this time, the man who helped create Umbrella and is responsible for much of the destruction that followed. In one of my previous theory videos that I posted, I spoke only from what I knew so far about him. A man who seemed to be chasing insane concepts of human evolution and prolonged life. A madman with a god complex, intent on achieving his goals no matter the price. Perhaps this was some others' views on the story as well. And oh boy, did Capcom flip this one on my head. The game has changed and the stakes are insane. The lore is evolving beyond what I ever could have imagined. The world feels too big to handle all of a sudden. The RE universe is vast, and it's going to take a special team to finally end this nightmare, if not a whole army. But what was Victor trying to find? By my understanding, it is the last project handled by Spencer. His secret to finish off his life's work. Literally finish it off. His atonement for his greed and blindness towards lives affected by the monsters he helped create. Spencer is not exactly a good man, but he is no longer the villain I thought he was. Victor was convinced he was putting together the clues left behind by his master, probably believing it to be a trail of breadcrumbs that would lead to a master prize. He was certain that this was the ultimate weapon. He planned to uncover and release the most dangerous thing ever, and with the connections, wreak havoc on the world, carrying out the original plans of these horrible corporations. Total control, war, greed, and evolution. Hunting down the final piece, Grace Ashcroft, the daughter of one of Raccoon City's survivors, Alyssa Ashcroft, a journalist who helped uncover the truth behind Spencer's final works. Convinced that Grace holds the keys to unlocking Elpis without setting off the failsafe to destroy it. But why? How did he come to this conclusion? Well, first things first, Grace is not Alyssa's biological daughter. From what I gathered, she is just a normal orphan, taken in by Spencer. Guess he wanted to try and make some sort of amends. As he has helped to ruin countless lives, he tries to help save one. And someone who Umbrella has been trying to replicate in a lab with less than stellar results. She was his hope for the future. I did miss this file when I played, but after his passing, Spencer left in his will that Grace be left in the care of Alyssa Ashcroft, entrusting her with his adoptive daughter's safety. My initial theory was that Grace was biologically superior to resisting the virus due to being the daughter of Alyssa, a survivor who was probably exposed to the virus in some way. Leon and Sherry are dealing with the mutated virus after years of their bodies suppressing it, but eventually succumbing to Raccoon City Syndrome, the fatal end that creeps up as the mutation eventually spreads throughout the body after years of dormancy and finding ways around their immune system's antibodies. Victor is sure that Grace is the next step of evolution, but it wasn't to help secure Elpis as a weapon. He likely found mention of her while he tried to piece together the last steps of Spencer's life, and he assumed that since she seemed to mean so much to him, that she must be the key to the next big thing. Elpis is an antiviral. The antiviral. In the end, it cures Leon and kills Zeno, and I'll get to him in a minute. Perhaps due to missed files or my general mistrust of anything and anyone associated with Umbrella, I was not convinced that the choice to release Elpis was right. I thought it was a weapon. I thought Spencer was trying to save Grace by entrusting her to Alyssa to keep out of enemy hands that would want to use her to unleash the most powerful biological weapon. I was wrong, and I nearly cried when I got the wrong ending, where Leon died. I'm sorry, but if that ended up being the real ending, it didn't feel right. I'm still on the fence as to why Capcom is experimenting with these choice-based options in their recent RE games, or if I'm looking too far into that detail, and they're just playing with us. Thank goodness the game autosaves and lets you try again if you choose that one. But Grace does seem to have it figured out if you choose to release Elpis. She pieces together in her mind how things have led up to it all, and how she knew she was making the right decision. I guess that's why she's the analyst for the FBI and I'm a retail worker. With that choice, you get the ending that reveals their final decision, taking out Zeno and Victor, and their rescue by Hound Wolf Squad bearing a message from Chris to Leon, which we don't get to hear. And somehow I'm not even mad about that. I spent so many points in this game with the creeping thought of, where is Chris? I knew he was tied in with it all, obviously after the end of 8. When dialogue between Leon and Sherry confirmed the internal dispute with the BSAA, I knew Chris had to be working hard somewhere. probably perfecting his boulder punching techniques in the hottest volcanoes on Earth. Gotta love it. Speaking of non-existent laws of physics, I love the Raccoon City bike chase. Not even gonna go into detail. It was a mashup of RE6 and Vendetta, and I was laughing so hard I probably missed many shots. It was an absolute blast of Leon being Leon, the villains being unable to handle it, and reality being unable to slow him down. 2 thumbs up and a gold star. I'm getting distracted. Finding Zeno. I haven't checked yet, but I'm absolutely certain that he was the same VA as Wesker, and he even looks like him, just with Prada and edgy earrings. When I first saw him standing on the helipad waiting for Grace, I thought it was Wesker, and my jaw dropped. Immediately theorizing and trying to think of how this could be rewriting the past, present, and future of Resident Evil. My mind jumping back to my Spencer theory, that he may have had plans to transfer his conscience into Wesker's body. I'm still holding on to parts of that with the new information I have seen in Requiem, that someone was still looking at the transference of memories through blood, and how they are literally cloning children trying to recreate Grace's genetic makeup needed to uncover Spencer's work. Or so they thought. I have a sneaking suspicion that Zeno may be a clone of Wesker's body, but whether or not he was possessing memories of Wesker or someone else is unclear to me. Perhaps Umbrella and the Connections are simply using copies of his body to use his abilities when combined with the T-Virus, making him an optimal physical subject for memory transference, leading me to also think again about the possible return of Alex Wesker, as her fate has been a mystery for some time now. Either way, I suspect she was involved at some point with the experiments of transference and immortality. Those experiments mentioned throughout this story include the work of mind control and cloning. I believe we saw that what appeared to be cloning near the end of RE8. If I'm not mistaken, some of those BOWs looked rather similar. But either way, it is shown throughout 9 that Grace has been being cloned, if I'm understanding that correctly. Mind control was previously brought up in the CGI movie Damnation. Those movies are canon, by the way. Mind control was something that was explored through the means of using the Las Plagas parasite. Who knows how much further these corporations have come along those lines since then. And a bit of copium. The commander could very well be a clone, if not for the sake that I don't want to believe that Hunk was brought down so easily, then for the same reasons I suspect that Zeno is a clone, because of the physical prowess they exude, making them important assets to one corporation or another. It makes sense that after the eyes of the world fell upon them and their devious actions, that they would want to keep things on the lowdown and reuse anything reliable, the location of Raccoon City for cover, and operators who have proved themselves invaluable. RE9 has paved a nice path into the story I have been the most invested in for some time, the good guys possibly turning bad. The BSAA, such as there being no actual records of the US government calling the strike on Raccoon City, if not then who? The BSAA agent on camera questions if the missile was meant for other reasons than destroying the virus, if not for the greater good. Then what else was at play? Who has the answers? Who is pulling the strings? It was to prevent others from getting their hands on Elpis. So how many organizations and governments are behind the race to control those findings and continue with experimentation? And what is the objective that the elite guards are retrieving at the very last scene after they have taken out the remaining BSAA agents at the site of ARC? Zeno reveals that the Connections sealed off Raccoon City to prevent others from trying to obtain Elpis. Hints throughout the ARC facility show that Umbrella, the Connections, and Tricell are in cahoots of some kind for the production of BOWs, experimental research, and cover-ups, apparently. The Connections seem to have their grimy hands in many pockets, controlling more details behind the scenes of multiple companies and governments than previously thought. I always thought they were small fries compared to Umbrella, but this game helped me see they are bigger than I thought. Heck, RE10 may just be Revelations 3, the ultimate, revelation. I do wonder what will happen in Raccoon City now. How will they ensure that the plant cannot continue to grow? That the zombies will be taken out? And what a terrifying number there are. It's so sad to know that after all this time, so many of them are just there existing and still being used by Umbrella. Even more sad knowing that so many of them exhibit some form of memory retention. Nothing feels exclusively black and white anymore. The questions we are faced with in the end are the most important by far, and I look forward to the time when we get to uncover the whole truth. We got to see the weight of all the years of horror inflicting mental burden on Grace, Sherry, and Leon. If you can hear that, I'm so sorry, I don't know what my sister's laughing at. The team keeps growing, and the mission stays the same, to bring an end to the horror, to stop the evil residents. Watching a playthrough after I wrote this, I saw that I have so many notes and documents to still explore in game, and I'm excited for the future. Let me know what you think and if I got something wrong. I probably allowed my own thoughts to skew some interpretations during my first playthrough. Did you like the game? What are your thoughts and hopes for the future of Resident Evil? Till next time.